Well, hello and welcome to the blog rundown, the weekly show from Movie Burner Entertainment, where we discuss the latest written reviews from our writing team. And the first review we're going to talk about, John, today is one that came in from Philip Henry, and it's Mortal Engines from 2018. This was directed by Christian Rivers, and the screenwriters were Fran Walsh, Philippa Baines, and Peter Jackson. Yeah.
Peter Jackson, yeah.
Well, I would say the three of them are actually well known. They're very well connected with, obviously, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And
most of Peter Jackson's work, Stephen, in actual fact, have combined well over the years.
And this stars Hera Hillman, Robert Sheehan and Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving, a man I love tremendously. He's also worked with Peter Jackson previously as well, Stephen, as Elrond. I believe it was Elrond, I'm pretty sure. I've read Lord of the Rings books about 4 times and I can't remember. My mind's went blank. That's a common theme on these shows, Stephen.
Before I ask you about, you've actually seen the film.
I have seen the film,
I've not
sadly,
seen it.
Stephen.
Yeah, I was actually looking forward to this one till I spoke to you. But I did read Philip's review on this as well, and it did put me off because he says it's a film that doesn't want to end.
It doesn't.
It ends a few times, I should say, doesn't it?
It ends 3 times, I think, to be precise. That's very true. It's just a discombobulated, muddled mess of a film, Stephen. And Phil shares just about everything I think of this film as well, Stephen. It's just horrendous, man. There's a few positive chinks of light in there, mainly the visuals, which are stunning. They really are, they're tremendous. The visuals, the sound effects, I did like just the subtle little sound effects of the vehicles, like moving the airborne vehicles, that is, not the trundling big cityscape vehicles. Just the concept is absolutely crazy, let's be honest. It's a post-apocalyptic setting. As Philip says in his review, you do see the bombs going off at the beginning, and then it pops forward 1,000 years, and when in this post-apocalyptic dystopian setting where inexplicably they've decided to take all of the cities and put them in these massive movable vehicles. I don't know why. Peter Jackson narrated one of the trailers and that got me in to watch it because I was intrigued. I'm like, right, I have to see this. I just have to see this playing out and see if it's a success. Sadly, Stephen, for me, it's not a success. It's apparently based on a 4-part novel series. I've not read any of the novels. I don't think I'm going to read any of the novels after this horror show of a film. I'm even getting discombobulated now, Stephen, talking about it.
That's an easier word to say than that.
But anyway, I digress, Stephen. It's just, as I said, it's muddled. It follows 2 primary characters on the good side. The chap you mentioned, I can't remember his name, Robert Sheehan and Hera Hillman. They are essentially discarded by the villainous Hugo Weaving character. He's running London, this movable London cityscape. London cityscape, I should say, not London. I'm having a mare here, Stephen. And they're discarded early on in the film. They're scooped up into the London cityscape with these. It's just a strange concept. I'm not even going to get bogged down by discussing how it happens, but a city gets setting up by another city. They're pushed down a vent and they're thrust out into this world. There's a kind of a eureka moment where it's revealed that Hugo Weaving's connected to the Hera Hillman character. He's murdered her mother, and then she's now basically thrust out into this post-apocalyptic world, trying to find a way to scam her back and kill Hugo Weaving's character. That's the general gist of it, while saving the world as well. It's a strange film. It's muddled, as I did say. I completely agree with everything Philip said in this review. It's a very good review. Straight to the point, and he just takes out all of the various grievances I have with it too.
One plus they did mention was the visuals, though, John. They said they were
I agree.
Stunning,
as I says, they are. They're absolutely stunning. You'd expect that, Stephen. If you're doing a film of this nature, set in this environment, then you have to get the visuals on point. Just the nature of these big towering vehicles.
I've not seen any trailers for this or any screenshots of the film, but I'm just trying to picture these cities on wheels in my head, and it just sounds like a John Lennon trip to me. It just sounds absolutely bizarre.
Well, I felt like I was on this, Stephen, as you can tell, I'm still recovering.
One of the names out with Hugo Weaving that does stand out to me, John, is obviously Robert Sheehan. Robert Sheehan. He is Dublin based. He was in the film Killing Bono, or the Killing of Bono, which was a very good film. I thought it was quite funny.
He was in another film with Rupert Grint as well. I can't remember what it was called.
Hera Hillman, I'm not really familiar with, John.
I'm not familiar with her either.
But Hugo Weaving, I think he's one of Peter Jackson's go-to actors, isn't he? And he's always reliable, depending on obviously his scheduling. But I'm pretty sure that he fits them in there well he can. But as you said, this was based on 4 books. But I don't know, the concept just doesn't work for me. When I saw who the team were and they were putting together, the actual movie poster as well looks pretty cool as well.
Yeah, that's a Hera Helmer character there. Yeah.
And it does
She's
look
got
quite
scars on her face.
Yeah, it looks quite a mysterious character in the poster. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But
it's not really.
But
sadly,
listen, it's a movie that when I first heard about it and it was going to be a Peter Jackson production. Philip does actually say a lot of people did it was misleading that he would be directing this. I'm pretty sure he's glad he didn't now.
You actually suggested, Steve, that maybe he had directed it.
Yeah.
Realised that the early critical consensus on the film wasn't good, and then says, well, I'll just pass it off as this guy's film. I don't even know his name, Stephen. Christian Rivers.
Christian Rivers.
He's been flung under the bus.
Yes,
here.
I'm not familiar with any of his previous work either, John.
I think he's done one short film prior to this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's a guy who's vastly inexperienced for a film of this nature.
Well, I think Philip does mention that actually.
He does, and
he says he's
right.
probably bitten off more than he can chew with this. Probably too big a production for him to handle at this stage in his career, John. But
I feel, Stephen, I'll quickly go in with this final little part. I feel if Peter Jackson had been involved in this film, that he would have maybe have done it differently. I know he produced it and he maybe had a say in some of the decisions, so I may be wrong. But I feel if he was tackling this novel franchise or a series, I think he would have made it a multi-part film instead of trying to fit so much into just a 2 hour and 10-15 minute running time. Way too much going on, way too many side arcs and cuts to various different things and too many characters. I didn't connect to the characters at any point. I did say to you, Stephen, the one death that I connected to the most was a minor villain. I can't even remember his name, that's how important he was. Right, this strange skeletal metal figure with green eyes. He dies, he's got a connection to the Hera Helmer character, and that's kind of a sad, poignant moment because he's trying to kill her and then he obviously realises he's too many attachments to her, and then he can't kill her, he dies and she's obviously upset. Out with that, I didn't have any connection to anything going on in the film. It was just hollow. It was a hollow experience. Beautiful in terms of visuals, stunning audio, and just the sound effects, but edited together terribly. Yeah. Not particularly well directed. There wasn't one standout performer. I mean, you've got the likes of Hugo Weaving in there doing a villainous role, and he can't even lift the performances and just the overall vibe of a film. Then you really are. You've got a lemon. Yeah, John. Just to finish this discussion up, I did say in regards to the movie poster, it's always a telling sign when they put on the poster from the filmmakers of. In this case, it's Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Perhaps the studio don't have a lot of confidence after they've seen the final sort of version. And it had a $100 million budget and it's only grossed $69 million, Stephen. 27% from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes. It's a flop. Normally I would say, I might catch this on Netflix or Sky. No, I don't recommend you doing that. I don't think I'll bother, John, because based on obviously your experience and Philip's review, it doesn't sound like something I would really enjoy. But we'll move on to our second review in this blog rundown, and it's one that I did, came out on Christmas Day. We're a little bit behind with our reviews at the moment because we decided to take a week off at Christmas, but this is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, directed by Bob Persichetti and Peter Ramsey. I could say that easily, I don't know why I was struggling earlier on, but this has got a whole host of stars. Just happen to mention that Lord and Miller are part of the production team and writing team, I think, as well on this, John. And a whole host of stars. I don't want to start rhyming them off because I'll be probably spending more time doing that and actually talking about the review. But a very strong cast for an animated film. I don't really want to read my review, it is on the blog if you want to read it, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is one of the best animated films that I've seen in a long time, certainly from coming out of the Marvel animation studios. It took me by surprise because I've not had a really great experience with the studio's animation up to now. I always felt DC had the upper hand when it came to their animated world and their universe, and but this blows all of probably DC stuff out the water as well. I've got to say that for a theatrical release, this was really compelling. I loved all the different versions of Spider-Man that we were introduced to. Took me a little bit
to get used to it. I think an hour in, everything was running along smoothly in regards to Peter Parker and Miles Morales, and then all of a sudden we've got the noir version of Spider-Man coming in, Spider-Ham, etc., and the anime one as well. I can't remember the Penny Parker. And for a little moment I was like, what the hell's going on here? But it didn't take me long to get back into the sort of frame of mind to enjoy the movie. I felt that all the different animation styles on paper shouldn't work, but it did. You know, it didn't derail the plot or anything like that, or the tone to the film, or the pacing, or the look of it. That's more important. I also liked the look of this because very early on there was some scenes with Miles Morales and his dad in the car, I think it was, and it reminded me of A Scanner Darkly, the way it was animated, but apparently this wasn't.
No, it was just, it was all CG.
Over, live action or anything like this. Was all animated, but a stunning piece of work. Loved the story as well, and just I think this is going to be a good way of introducing Miles Morales into a live action film as well. I think it's a good way of conditioning, the comic book geeks will know of this character. They will be used to his arc. For your average moviegoer, this is a good way of introducing them to another version of Peter Parker. I don't really want to say another version of Peter Parker because I think that does the character a bit of a disservice. It certainly is a different fish to Peter Parker, who seems to just have one thing in common, that they can both be Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just that's also the common thread throughout all the various iterations of Peter Parker, Spider-Ham. I can't remember what the female one was.
Penny.
Was it Peter Penny?
Penny Parker,
Penny Parker. That wouldn't work. But yeah, that's also the cross-dressing Peter Penny. Yes, that would be very odd. But look, that is the common thread. Gender neutral. Yeah, you got to be politically correct, Stephen. If I can speak. But yeah, that's the common thread, obviously, that connects all these various different iterations, all the different alternate reality versions of Spider-Man. Just the fact that they are Spider-Man, they've all had that common loss, the common experience of turning into Spider-Man. How do you cope with that? How it's affected your life? Obviously, living a secret identity from your family, your friends. So it was really interesting how they did all get together and connect. As I said before, Stephen, it was clear all these various different iterations were acting as a sort of mentor, joint mentor figure to the Miles Morales character. He was getting thrust into this role. They'd all experienced it already. They could come from a position of experience and say, look, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. You're not ready for it, you're not this, you're not that. So that was really cool. As you did say, the visuals side of it was stunning. It was an absolute masterpiece. The way that they managed to incorporate all of these various different styles, artistic styles, just animation, and how it all blended together. It shouldn't have happened. It's just preposterous to see something like Spider-Ham in there and a noir, and just the anime. It shouldn't blend, but it did, and that was down to the team of artists and visual designers and stuff. They just worked magic. I think, as you says in your review, and we've said countless times before, near 180 people worked on this film. And I did read a fantastic article on the process, and they did say that they made 5 or 6 different versions of the film just so they could have all the different shots, all of the boxes ticked, and just they could come in at different angles and weave it all together into one cohesive story. So that was fantastic, the way they processed that. I just liked the story in general.
Did you notice the bit at the start as well? I think it was taking a bit of a Mickey take as well for Spider-Man 3. It showed you that sort of animated Tobey Maguire dancing down the street thing. Did you notice that at the start as well? That just popped into my head there. I thought that was quite good. You know, they're willing to poke fun at their own character.
Exactly, Stephen. The way they did sprinkle various little Easter eggs in there as well. I liked That's All Folks bit at the end. That was really, it was fantastic the way they did. They utilised it. It was great for comic book geeks and just general audiences coming in and maybe learning about these characters. They ticked all the boxes for the different demographics, and that was fantastic. As I did say, I really enjoyed the story in general, Stephen. It was a simple story. When you think of it, it's just Miles Morales being thrust into the role of Spider-Man with the added extras of all these different things, or iterations coming in to help him. But he's basically just getting thrust into the role of Spider-Man. He has to defeat Kingpin and shatter this worm, sort of a whole large hadron collider sort of a setup underneath the city. So it was a fairly simplistic story, but it had added components that she also spiced it up a little bit. and just the combination of the story, the voice acting, the visuals. I just thought it was fantastic. It's, for me, probably the best animated film of 2018, if not in the last 5 years.
I would say
or
so.
More.
I would say so, John. I liked Gotham by Gaslight. I thought that was a great.
I was going to touch on that, Stephen.
And The Killing Joke as well.
Yeah.
But this one, as I said, this is my favourite. This one knocks it out of the park.
I was going to touch on. Also, you did reference. Obviously, this is Marvel's first, perhaps successful attempt at an animated film. With one of the characters.
At this level.
Yeah, at this level. But when you actually, I mean, you can't be too harsh on the likes of DC, saying that they've also been overshadowed by this release, because it did have a $90 million budget. You can't imagine the likes of The Killing Joke.
No.
Gotham by Gaslight,
no.
that had budgets on that scale. They are just smaller scale, one animation style films with smaller production budgets and smaller casts and stuff.
It's not a disservice to say that I think the cast in the DC films are more suited to voice work as well. I don't. That's not any negative slant on DC when you're talking about the likes of Mark Hamill, etc. Who are very good at what they do. This is an A-list cast that's come in to do this, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, John. There was another thing I was going to mention in regards to what do you think with the success of this? Do you think the studio are going to bring out a sequel in this sort of fashion, or do you think they will go straight to live action now?
I think you could have a combination of both, Stephen. As you did say in your review, I think it's definitely a toe-dipping experiment where they are putting the Miles Morales character out there to let people know, look, this is a different interpretation of a Spider-Man story. We can have Tom Holland's Peter Parker in the MCU whilst we keep the Miles Morales character in our Sony Spider-Verse, with the likes of Jared Leto's, I can't remember the bloody character's name, also get it, the vampire one, and obviously Venom and their Spider antagonistic universe.
Because one thing for sure, if they do go live action, they're going to be a lot braver, I will say, than DC. DC have got different versions of the Robin character, as you know, but not in live action yet. It's all been done in animation, and they've not really delved into that yet in regards to the likes of Nightwing or anything like that in live action. It would be good to see. I know we're getting that live action television series that's coming out. I think it's coming out on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it. And it's in regards to all the sort of lesser known characters. I don't know if Robin might be one of them, or that version of Robin.
One,
Titans, I think that's coming out on Netflix soon. That might be their way of introducing it. I'm not sure. But I think you're right, John. I think we might get a sequel to this in an animation form, but we might get a standalone Miles Morales.
Well, for me, Stephen, what made this film so successful was the animated nature of the film, just the styles and the whole host of combination of the different artistic styles, the nature of the story, just the simplicity with the added complexity of the visuals. That's what made this film so successful. So if they do transfer the character over to live action, and I fully expect them to try it, because this is why I think this is why they've done it. They've done it obviously because it's a fantastic concept and it's a great story. The screenplay's also been great and the people involved have been passionate about it. That's why they've done it. But I think they've seen this as a chance to utilise Miles Morales' character, put him out to fans or demographics that may not know of his story, and show them, look, we can have Spider-Man in this universe well, at the MCU and also Disney have Tom Holland's iteration, Peter Parker. But they'll need to be very careful, Steve, if they go down the live action route, because it's you need to get the casting spot on, and we've seen that Sony can be hit and miss with their Spider-Man films, so
I think as well
they need to be very careful.
An audience point of view as well, you don't want to try and confuse your average moviegoer as well, that they don't know what they're watching. They're getting a bit confused by the different versions of Spider-Man as well. I'm really breaking down when I say Spider-Man, because I'm very tempted to say Spider-Man.
Spider-Man,
played by Chandler Bing, but Phil Spider-Man. But listen, I think it will be maybe a few years down the line before we're ready for that.
You look at the combined ratings on Rotten Tomatoes: 97% from the critics, 94% from the audience. So this is just getting widespread praise, and just the fact that it's not done amazing at the box office just perplexes me. It's only around about, or grossed about $200 million.
But we talked about this in box office chat. I think this is a UK thing. I think it's our culture here. It's not Exactly. We can count in one hand how many comic book stores are here in Glasgow.
Yeah, exactly.
That says it all. Possibly London's got a bit more than ourselves, but I think, you know, overall culturally we're just not at the same level as the US at the moment. We might get there. I don't know. I hope we do, because I think there's certainly a platform for the medium.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I fully expected they will do a sequel at some point, but just the nature of the process of making it, the revenue and the amount of people they have to get, and it's going to be years and years away anyway, Stephen, as you did say. But look, I ain't got much more to add. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's definitely in one of my top 10 films of 2018. One of my top animated films in the last decade, 5-10 years. I thought it was absolutely outstanding, an absolute masterpiece from every facet of the film. It's just excellent. So I can't heap any more praise than that on it.
Well, we'll just move on to our final movie review of this evening, John. It is Vice. Unfortunately, this film's not out here yet, so we can't really say too much on our experiences, but we certainly will once we get to see it in the cinemas. But this has been reviewed by our new writer, Gianni Di Maia. Hope I've pronounced that right, Gianni. It's a fantastic review. This film's directed by Adam McKay and stars Christian Bale, Amy Adams, Steve Carell and Sam Rockwell. Now, this is obviously a political satire movie based on the story of Dick Cheney. Regardless of what you might think of the man and the politics surrounding him, if I watched the Death of Stalin, reviewed it last year, John. Certainly don't agree with everything that Mr. Stalin had done in his lifetime, but it was a tremendous film.
I would hope not, Steve.
And it was handled right. It was Armando Iannucci that did that, and he's you know, one of the masters of
Glaswegian, isn't he?
Yep. He did the thick of it as well. Worked with Steve Coogan and Al Partridge, but he gets satire and he knows how to do it right. In this case, Gianni actually mentions that they don't know what they want from the film very early on. They're caught in between being satirical and, well, it's a character study. That's the trap you can fall into in this sort of you know, this kind of
well, you can genre. You can be in the danger of trying to get too clever for your own good in these type of films. Just the nature of the guy involved. Dick Cheney was a very divisive man. He obviously got up to a few things in his time as Vice President, I believe he was under George Bush. Yeah, he
was part of the
early 2000s,
administration,
part of the administration that obviously was involved in a couple of dodgy wars. I'll not say illegal, but a couple of dodgy wars. And also our very own Tony Blair was involved in that as well, so we can't talk, we're every bit as bad. But but just the nature of that man, just the nature of his life, checkered life, you're always going to have that danger of being drawn into a character study, but then on the other flip of it, you get the danger of getting too clever with the satirical stuff and just the connection to the obvious Donald Trump that's in power just now, who's an even bigger banger than the Bush administration. Not drawn us into a war yet, but I'm sure that will happen before Donald hangs up his coat in the Oval Office. But Stephen, I've not seen this film yet. I'm really intrigued by it just because Christian Bale's in there. I think he's an absolutely sublime actor. I've enjoyed his work for years upon years upon years. And as you did say, Adam McKay, he's a fantastic director. I've enjoyed a lot of his work. It's a very varied category cinematography that he's got. He's went from the likes of Step Brothers to The Big Shot, which was outstanding. I think I actually may have reviewed The Big Shot. I don't know if I did.
You did,
yeah, that was a fantastic film about also the credit crash or the crunch from 2009, 2008, 2008, 2009. So that was an incredible satirical piece as well, looking into the dodginess of all these bankers, what they were getting up to, running all these scams and just, you know. So it's a similar concept here he's going for, but again, it's not like Armando Iannucci, who's just the master of satire. He's got a bit of a varied cinematography, so he may not have quite got his get the expertise down into how to do a perfect satire yet. So he's also been drawn into doing a character study at the side. What they're saying in general about this film, just out with Gianni's review as well, they're echoing his sentiments really, that it is a bit of a mixed film. Structurally, it's a little bit all over the place. They don't quite know what they want to do with the film, but everybody seems to agree throughout that Christian Bale's performance is mesmerising and that he raises the standard of the film as a result. And Gianni says it in his review as well, very well, that Christian he makes the character of Dick Cheney enjoyable to watch. He almost is likeable despite the heinous.
One thing you're always going to get with Christian Bale is he's always going to embody that character.
Yeah.
You know, with his mannerisms or whatever, even the sheer look of him, you know, his transformation into looking like Dick Cheney was immense. Actually,
it's almost like Gary Oldman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah,
you know,
it's incredible.
And you know what you're going to get with Christian Bale.
Gianni
does say, you know, that he is the star performer, and that's evident when you get someone.
But you look
like
at the rest of the cast, though, Stephen.
Well, he did say in the review as well that the likes of Amy Adams, Steve Carell, and Sam Rockwell all perform well as well. But obviously, Christian Bale's just on another level. You know,
he's George W. Bush.
Yeah,
that surprises me.
Yeah.
That really does surprise me. I'd love to see how he took on that character. Steve Carell's Donald Rumsfeld. I know Donald very well. I know his antics as well. He is a very particular looking character. So I'm intrigued to see how these characters, how these actors all get into character.
Well, listen, I know we're not long away from its release here in the UK anyway, John. Political satire is really what you experience from it from your own personal point of view. Your politics might creep into it sometimes, and it certainly doesn't cloud Gianni's. He does say this in his review. It's got nothing to do with what his political beliefs are.
That was a point I made, Stephen, when we were discussing the review before we came on. I really enjoyed the fact that you did take this review from an almost analytical standpoint. He broke the film down, all its various faults and its positives, and he reviewed it 6.5 out of 10. He says that the actual rating wasn't reflective of his enjoyment of the film, and I think that's a fantastic way to really look at reviewing films. If you can put aside your personal enjoyment and analytically break down a film for all its various different facets, then that's a great way of reviewing. That's something I really need to take on board when I start reviewing films, because sometimes when I'm reviewing I do get too caught up in my personal enjoyment, and it clouds maybe some of the more technical aspects of the film, just the way they've explored the storytelling, the satire and stuff like that. So
it's all subjective, John.
It is all subjective.
Listen, that brings us to the end of this week's blog rundown, and we'd just like to thank you once again for joining us, and we'll be back again tomorrow with the Force Friday show.